Hello children, how are you all? Stay home and study well. So my dear loving children, today I am going to start chapter 2, that is tissue. Now first is, what are these tissues? Tissues are the group of cells. Tissues are the group of cells which are similar in structure and perform similar function These tissues are present in both plant cells as well as animals also. For example, human body, numerous tissues are present. If we talk about any of the plant, numerous tissues are present there. So here we have to study plant tissue as well as animal tissue. So first just I am going to tell you certain terms. Thereafter I will explain the outline classification of the tissues of the plant. So let begin. Now dear children, these tissues, actually there is a branch of science which deals with the study of tissues known as histology. Prepare this term, histology. It was given by the French anatomist Xavier Bichat. The name is Xavier Bichat in 1801. Now, what is anatomist? Anatomists are the persons, those who are studying the internal structure. Now, if we talk about the tissues, as I told you, now we will discuss about the outline classification of the tissue. So that only I am going to begin. First, tissues are broadly classified into two, that is plant tissue and animal tissue. Now it is obviously, if it is written as plant tissues, that means the various type of tissues which are present in plants, and the various type of tissues which are present in animals are known as animal tissues. So first we are going to discuss about the plant tissue. So plant tissue, it is broadly classified into two groups, that is meristematic and permanent tissues. Meristematic and here is permanent. Now this meristematic tissue, most important tissue. Meristematic tissue contain dividing cells which are having enormous power of cell division. Do you know, if any plant is there, its height goes on increasing day by day. Why it is so? This is because of meristematic tissue. Okay, because these are having very young cells and these cells are very thin walled also, no intercellular space between them. Now permanent tissues. First of all, remember one thing, why the term permanent is given. That means the young cells, when they lose their power of division, they comes under permanent tissues. Why? Because they undergo differentiation process, and after differentiation process they start performing the specific functions in the plant body. For example, collenchyma, parenchyma, sclerenchyma. These three are very important, and then complex we will discuss afterwards. So once again children, this meristematic tissue consists of the young cells which are having enormous power of cell division. And here permanent, that means they are having cells which are not dividing or non-dividing cells. Now meristematic tissue, on the basis of position in the plant body, these are divided into three, that is apical, lateral and intercalary. And if we talk about the permanent tissues, these are divided into two, that is simple permanent tissues and here is complex permanent tissues. So it's clear, permanent that divides into two, simple and complex. Meristematic, then maybe the question in the examination that classify the meristematic tissue on the basis of their position in the plant body. So your answer would be these are categorized into two on the basis of position in the plant body, that is apical, lateral, intercalary. Apical means, here by this plants also I can explain it, the leaf tip. That means here apical meristematic tissue is present. This means it is present, the tissue which is present on the apex or the upper part, the tip part, that is known as apical meristematic tissue. If we talk about the lateral part, lateral means the girth of the plant, or we can say this stems here. So lateral meristematic tissue, that means which are present on lateral sides, and it increases the girth of the plant body. Girth means diameter of the plant body, the trunk of the plant body. If we talk about intercalary, that means which are present at the nodes and internodes, and it helps in increasing the length of nodes and internodes as well as organs, just like leaf. Leaf growth also takes place, leaf also expand in the sizes. Why it is so? Because of intercalary. And permanent tissue we talk about simple, complex. Simple is again divided into two. Just pause. So we discussed that on the basis of position, meristematic tissues are of three types. Once again I am telling you, that is apical, lateral and intercalary. Now the permanent tissues. Permanent tissues, that means consist of non-dividing cells. I told you these are not dividing. Okay, these will not further divide, but they will perform the specific functions in the plant body. So they are categorized into two, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissue. Simple means, that means they are made up of single layer of cells or same type of cells only. And these are further classified into two, that is simple protective tissue and another is simple supportive tissue. As it is clear, children, protective means they provide the protection. Supporting means they provide the mechanical support. So these are also different. First I am going to tell you epidermis. Protective tissue, these are categorized into two, epidermis and cork. Epidermis, which are present on the upper part of the plant. On the leaf we can say, on the stem we can say, these are epidermis only. Now leaf, this is the leaf, upper layer of this leaf, that is made up of transparent layer called epidermis. It is clear now, as it is written epidermis. So epi means upper. What is that? Upper. Dermis means layer. So upper transparent layer present on the leaves, on the stem, that is known as epidermis, and it provides protection to the plant body from getting any type of desiccation or shock. Now cork, it also comes under protective tissue. Cork, children, did you see the higher plants, the bark? Outer you have seen the trunk is covered by a woody layer. That woody layer is actually a cork, and it provides the protection to the plant from any type of injury. And this cork is made up of the dead cells. And these dead cells, obviously if any tissue is made up of dead cells, it provides the mechanical support to the plant. So dead cells which are very highly thickened and covering of a chemical known as suberin is present over it. And do you know what is the function of this suberin? Suberin that makes a tree or that particular part impervious to water. So water will not enter in that area where these cells are present because of the presence of which chemical, that is suberin. Remember it, it can be asked in the examination also. Now, simple supportive tissue. These are categorized into three. So, these are categorized into three. What are they? Parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma tissue. Parenchyma, wherever this term is there, parenchyma, it means these are made up of thin walled cells and these are always living, or in other words we can say these are present in all the soft part of the plant. Collenchyma, it is also the important tissue, we can say. Generally these are present in the leaves because you know that why leaves never get torn even when high wind will blow. Why? Because the flexibility is provided by this collenchyma tissue. So they can bend easily. They will not be torn even if high wind is blowing. Now sclerenchyma tissue. Sclerenchyma tissue, we can say these are made up of dead cells and provide mechanical support. For example, did you see the coconut husk? The husk, the outer covering, that is made up of sclerenchyma tissue. And children, sclerenchyma tissue, all the seeds we can say that in pulp of guava, whatever seeds are there, they are also made up of sclerenchyma. All the dry fruits covering made up of sclerenchyma tissue only. Now, this sclerenchyma is again divided into two, or we can say these are also two types, fibers and sclerites. Fibers, these are not that much strong. For example, the jute, or we can say coconut husk, this is made up of fibers. And sclerites means we can say that pulp of guava are having seeds, small seeds are embedded in the pulp of guava, that means which provide grittiness or hardness just like a stone. You know that guava seed is very hard just like a stone. So that is made up of sclerites. Now why there is a difference between fibers and sclerites? Because in fibers little bit space is there. In sclerites narrow lumen. That means lumen is absent. Or we can say for example any cell is there which is highly thickened, because we know that dead cells are very thickened also. These are very thickened. This narrow space is also almost covered. Very little space is remaining, it is also covered. So that is why we can say it is quite hard. Now come to the complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissue, that means different types of cells are present in that. That is why the term complex is given. So these are categorized into two, xylem and phloem. Now what is xylem? Xylem is that tissue which provide water and nutrients to the plants. For example, minerals. Phloem, if we talk about, this is a complex permanent tissue which help in the conduction of food in the plant body. Once again I am telling you, xylem which conduct water in the plant body, or we can say which transfer water from the roots or from the soil to different parts of the plant body. Phloem provide food. You know that in the plants or green plants we can say food is prepared by the process of photosynthesis, and starch that is formed in the leaves. From here it has to transfer to the roots also, or different parts of the plant body. So which is conducted? Here phloem is conducted food, or in other words we can say these are known as the vascular tissue also. One new term you learn, vascular. Vascular means which conducts something in the plant body. As human body we say na, blood is a vascular tissue. Why? Because it conducts different nutrients in the body. Similarly in the plants, water and food is conducted by two specialized tissue, xylem and phloem. Now children, before completing this outline, one more thing I am going to tell you, this epidermis. As I told you, upper layer. For example, this leaf. Upper layer, I told you, if we take out the upper layer, it will be transparent. So that is known as epidermis. It's very important because it is made up of single layer of cells. What is epidermis? Which consists of single layer of cells, and sometimes it is covered by a baxil layer also, that is known as cuticle. What do you known as cuticle? Acha, did you see children, cactus? Very thick fleshy leaf is there. Upper layer is very hard. Actually that is also because of this cuticle. Okay, and which help we can say to reduce the transpiration process in the desert plant, because in desert that is water is less. And epidermis is also very important. It provides the protection, that is one thing. Second thing, it also contains numerous stomata. It contains numerous stomata. Now what are stomata? Stomata, these are having the guard cells as well as the stomatal pore. So these are the guard cells, chloroplasts are present on it. These are the guard cells, and this is known as stomatal pore. What do you know? It is stomatal pore. Now, what is the role of this guard cell? Actually, numerous stomata are present on upper layer of epidermis as well as here back side also. Because in leaf only two epidermis are found. So, now this stomata is very important for gases exchange, means to release of oxygen that we are inhaling, and in intaking of CO2 which is required by the plant for photosynthesis process. As well as it helps in transpiration. For example, when more water is taken by the plant, then plant cannot hold that much water. So it has to release out that water through leaves, and this process is known as transpiration. In other words, we can say excessive loss of water in the form of vapors through leaves known as transpiration. This also takes place through stomata. In the exams it can be asked what are the two functions of stomata. So one is gases exchange, second is transpiration. What is transpiration? Releasing of water in the form of vapors from the leaves. Cuticle, I told you, this is a baxil layer which is present on the epidermis to protect the leaves. I hope you understand children, and in another video I will explain one by one. If you are having any queries about it, you send the comments, I will answer it. Okay, take care.